Hello, everybody. I can't give a better intro than that creepy video. Welcome back to season 2 of Iron, Dust, and Blood, a Call of Cthulhu story. You might notice a few new faces here. Let's go around the room real quick and introduce our beautiful new cast, new and old. Let's start with
calling old.
Myself.
Okay.
Already on the good foot, I see.
Let's start with a new medical professional that we have joining the cast, and if those of you that have been watching know that this group could probably use some medical help. Dr. Early Layton, why don't you introduce you who is playing you this evening, and we'll get into details on actual Dr. Early later.
Hello, my name is Jake, and yes, as Justice has said, I will be playing a Dr. Early Layton, because I'm weird. I wanted to play a doctor, so I've only played one on TV, so I wanted to join it here.
That's fair. Where it's real.
Only played it on TV, so let's get real with it.
It doesn't count if it's a crime documentary and you were being arrested. I'm throwing it out there.
Oh. Then this will be my first time playing a doctor.
Hey!
I mean, what better time to do surgery than your first time?
Well, I mean, here's the thing about surgery, especially during this era, is that saws are acceptable, like tools and implements. So, I mean, why not start there? Start big and then work small. Saws, then scalpels.
You kind of grab whatever's nearby, right? Like...
Oh yeah, you replace a leg. Hey, there's look. Let's just grab the wooden peg from that table right there. That's gonna be your new leg. Like, this is how it's gonna work now. So.
And then you need a carpenter too. It really stimulates the economy.
Yeah, I mean, and
you
if
could do
anything,
both.
it's always about the economy.
Wonderful start. I can just see how this is gonna go. Next up, Ms. BB Gaines playing Maybelle Baker. Who is you in the daylight?
I'm BB. I'm a longtime viewer, first time player on this channel, but super excited to be here. I've played Cthulhu one other time on Mason's channel. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a ride.
Mm-hmm.
And some familiar faces. Dallas Rex, who's steering you this evening?
Yeah, so hey everybody, my name is Mason Dula. Tonight, this is going to be fun because some of us get to continue our story, and I'm having a real good time with Justice, and I'm really glad we got 2 new people in. But yeah, I think Dallas is a little different from the last time we saw him.
He's had some trauma.
A little bit.
Y'all been through some shit. Seen some things. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Maybelle Monroe, Diana.
Hi guys, I'm still Diana. Haven't changed much. I'm still playing Miss Maybelle Monroe tonight. I do think it is important that with Emily not here, we do state on her behalf that she is still our special friend. Emily, if you ever see this, I do this for you. But.
And speaking of Emily, we have not lost her as a cast member. She is taking a break, and she will be rejoining us on our next arc. So she is Mags was called away. We'll talk about that in a little while. Few other housekeeping items. This is a rated R show. There are certain tropes and things that we will stay away from. We have discussed it as a cast, but if you are offended by foul language and Cthulhu monsters ripping people apart, this maybe censor yourself. But things this is a horror game, so we will border on horror with ghosties and things from the other realms. And if you see directly below me, there's a nice little bar that says "Bring the pain to the party." We've got a donation going on, and if we are to get to $50 total overnight and every increment thereafter, me as the keeper at the storyteller keeper
in this game.
Yes, I get to choose at inopportune or opportune, depending on which side it is, moment, someone automatically fails a roll. And that is generally when the best story happens. So, without further ado, we are going to rejoin our slightly decreased party in the town of San Francisco in the year 1869. It's been a couple weeks since our party safely made it out of Promontory Point, Utah, with only some minor mental scarring and down one member, notably. They were told to wait in the San Francisco hotel until they were contacted by a representative from the Royal Academy for the Preservation of the Natural Order. The order that formerly Logan Boone was a member of, and a advocate for Sheriff Dallas Rex and Maybelle Monroe to join. Sometime after assaulting Jed in the bar of the hotel, and now, a gentleman came into the hotel and asked to speak with Miss Magnesium Monroe, letting her know that there was an opportunity for her particular set of skills, and she was needed elsewhere. Maybelle and Mags parted ways, and Mags went off to, let's just say, summer camp with Dynamite. So she's learning a little bit about what she can do with a simple stick of dynamite somewhere out in the desert, safely away from human beings. We join Maybelle and Dallas in the morning. They're eating a very nice breakfast. Nobody's ever asked them to pay a bill. They've had fully appointed rooms, access to whatever they needed, whenever they needed it, and it was all put on the tab. That's what they were told. Don't worry, it's being taken care of. You all are seated by a window, eating poached eggs and bacon, whatever else fancy people eat for breakfast. When you notice a gentleman enters and is immediately approached by the maitre d', visually recognized, and the maitre d' bows slightly and motions over to your table, and he approaches. What does he see as he approaches the two of you?
I think at this point, probably Dallas is looking a little bit more disheveled. He's been spending a lot more time inside when he can, reading and things, so maybe his complexion has begun to pale a little bit. But otherwise, I think he's unusually focused on his breakfast, like staring intently through it as he eats it.
Maybelle looks very much the same as when you last saw her, the exception being the fact that she now has very dark circles under her eyes, not having her sister around, and I don't want to say the declining state of Dallas, but definitely the altered state of Dallas has left her worried. She kind of just, you can see it every couple of seconds, almost too frequently. She'll glance in his direction just to make sure that everything is still okay, that nothing's wrong, that he's not upset, almost like a nervous tick. She is, however, still wearing the dress that he bought her for Christmas.
The last truly happy moment that you all sort of had before everything went to hell in a handcart. The gentleman is tall, very slim, rail skinny almost, with a very large, hooked nose, and immaculately dressed in a tuxedo, but it's toned down just a little bit for daytime use. He does have tails, but he doesn't have the white gloves on. He has a hat under his arm, and he does carry a black silver chased cane. He approaches and bows slightly. Mr. Rex, Ms. Monroe, I trust you have found your accommodations to your liking.
Yeah, I think we're settling in just fine.
Why are you offering better ones?
As a matter of fact, I am. My name is Herbert Edward Welsh, and I am the newly appointed housekeeper and groundskeeper of a let's say a residence here in San Francisco. We have just finished putting the finishing touches on it, and it is ready for you to take residence if you still wish to join the ranks of. And he looks over both shoulders and he says, the academy.
I'm sorry. Who sent you to us?
Well, it was Logan Boone had called ahead, as it were, and let us know to expect you all, and that's why we have covered your accommodations, and in thanks for the great service that you've done to the entire world, and well, it was expected to give you the opportunity to join us as a society.
Oh, I thought the whole saving the world thing kind of got us in free and clear, but you're telling us there's more.
Oh no, you misunderstand me. It's up to you. That is all. It's simply there is more. There's much more that is available to you, but there's no more trials or tribulations, if that is what you're referring to.
I'd be careful making promises like that. I don't know, Dallas. How do you feel?
What's expected of us if we join your academy?
Well, I cannot say that it will be the most peaceful life, but you will not want for anything here in San Francisco as we stay. The accommodations are richly appointed with a full library for your use, and there may come times when you are called upon to investigate certain abnormalities, and use your special talents to help maintain the preservation of the natural order.
What kind of library?
Oh, well, I believe it's the finest in San Francisco to date.
But you know what I'm talking about. You have anything that I can't find in a normal library?
Oh, there are certain tomes and volumes that we've collected over the millennia that are not for polite company, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah, I'm in.
Dallas, don't you think we should ask just a couple more questions before we move into a house with a stranger?
I don't really know where to start. I just know Ulrich is alive out there somewhere.
We'll find him.
And they have the best resources available.
All right then, Mr. What did you say your name was?
Herbert Edward Welsh. You may call me Master Welsh or Herbert, whichever you choose.
I want to note that I'll play along moving your academy forward, saving the day. But when I find Ulrich, I'm done. We're out. And I want a condo on the beach over there on the coast.
What is a condo?
Condo.
Is this one of your new inventions? I know you've been writing a lot of notes.
It's a fancy thing you all haven't been. You know what? I've been reading. How about you get started? It's a fancy rental thing.
We have quite the retirement package, as it were.
Well, then, Master Walsh, it appears that we're in. should we go pack or?
If it pleases you, there is a carriage waiting outside. If you would like to gather your things, and we shall be off at once.
Uh, can we finish our breakfast first?
Oh, certainly. Yes, I apologize. Forgive me. I will wait outside.
We'll be there shortly.
You hear that?
Hear what?
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Dallas, I wish you would talk to me.
Something's just, something's been different since that day.
A lot's
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
You know I'm here to help, right?
Yeah, I just, I don't know what help I need. I know that Ulrich is alive out there. And I know that I was this close. He didn't even die. He was just gone from right in front of me.
If any man alive can find him, you can.
Yeah, I hope so.
No. I know so.
I still don't trust these people.
Well, the good news is I don't really think we have to. Why don't we go gather everything up?
Right. Yeah. Go get all the stuff together to follow this guy into oblivion.
I would make extra care packing up all of the notes and all of the research that undoubtedly Dallas and myself have been working on since the last season, and keeping everything in kind of meticulous order so that when our bags get moved to this new place, I'll know if something is missing.
Well, y'all sus right out the gate.
Weird dude interrupts my breakfast. He's sus. Let me eat my damn pancakes.
Well, you don't have a lot of possessions. What you've acquired since you've arrived in San Francisco, plus the meager belongings that you had running across the country. Once you are packed and you head outside, there's a large, very nice black two-wheel carriage with large horses, and Mr. Welsh is waiting, and he helps you load your bags in, gets you up in the carriage, hops up in the front seat, and drives off. You go past the areas of San Fran that you have more recently explored, up to a noticeably newer area. The streets are actually paved. They aren't dirt. They're actual cobblestones, and it's large house after large house with walled courtyards around them. They pull up to one, a three-storied structure with a drive out front and a gate. And he pulls up and stops and helps you all out and says, welcome to your new home for as long as you choose to have it so. And a couple of grooms come out and lead the horses away. And he opens the door and motions you all in.
All right, ladies first.
Thank you.
You enter. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I'm still suspicious. I'm still keeping an eye out for any anomalies walking through this doorway and into this strange house.
You walk into a large foyer. Off to your left, you see sort of that smoking room with a couple large desks, more like it's space for multiple people and large comfy chairs. And off to your right is the dining room. And sitting on a bench in the foyer here is a young woman. Bonnie Baker, what do they see when they see you?
They see generally medium height but well dressed woman. But still kind of looks comfortable, like she can roll up her sleeves. Long blonde braided hair with a warm, welcoming smile.
Hey, there's people in our house.
Yes.
I'm like,
He's right. He comes in right behind you. Yes. Hello, Miss Baker. Thank you so much for meeting us here. Your rooms have been prepared as well, and I will show you them to you momentarily. This is Mr. Dallas Rex and Ms. Maybelle Monroe. Ladies, gentlemen, this is Ms. Bonnie Baker.
Pleased to meet you.
please change your
Bonnabelle
claims.
Barnes Baker.
Oh.
But you can call me Bonnie for short.
I'm Maybelle, so it's nice to have another Belle in
Aw.
my vicinity, I suppose. This is Sheriff Dallas Rex.
Pleased to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you both.
What creepy shit do you do? And stop.
I beg your pardon. I'm a reporter.
Oh, so none that. Okay, all right. Love your hair.
Oh, why, thank you.
I always wish that I could braid a little bit better. Should we go put our things in our room? That was just
Certainly, I would gladly show you to your rooms. There's just one more. Ms. Bonneville, have you seen anyone else besides the staff? And at that moment, Dr. Early Layton comes down the stairs towards you all. And what do they see?
Older for this time, not old now, 35-ish. Anyways, walking down the stairs, starting to salt and pepper a little bit in his hair, wearing actually at this moment in the house, probably like a tweed jacket, something a little bit nicer, a button-down shirt, with a pipe out of his mouth, and a book in his hand.
Oh, Doctor, there you are. So perfect timing. Have you met Miss Bonneville yet? And two more members of the household, Mr. Dallas Rex and Ms. Maybelle Monroe.
He walks down the stairs and immediately walks over to shake everyone's hand. Nice to meet you. Bonnie, correct? Is that correct?
Yes, Bonnie.
Wonderful. And Dallas, is that correct?
Yeah, you can call me Dallas.
Awesome. I mean, I don't have to. You tell me what I should call you.
What do you go by, Doctor?
Doctor's fine. What makes you feel comfortable?
I don't like this already. I'm gonna just turn to Mabel.
Give it a chance.
Maybelle, was that correct?
Miss Monroe.
Miss Monroe. I apologize. Wonderful meeting all of you. I hope your trip here was good.
He's a real doctor, right? I'll turn to Walsh and say that.
Welsh. Yes, he is a medical doctor. Yes, certainly.
You're a
Wonderful.
doctor of, like, do you do surgery? Like, what do you...
Well, not at the moment, but yes, I have in the past. I used to be a druggist, if that helps you at all.
I'm not understanding what any of these people are really doing here.
Do you know what a druggist does? Do you know what the profession is?
I mean,
Depends on which town you're in.
Oh, I think I do.
Well, I would love to hear. What do you think a druggist does?
well, they hand out snake oil to people. That's what my papa always said.
Yep.
Quite a few of them. A lot of them, in fact, do that, and that's kind of why we're kind of talking about amongst ourselves within the community itself about changing a lot of what goes on. But that's not here nor there, and that's here to bother you. But no, my primary job was to go out in the field and suture up individuals that got hurt in mines, and some people that would be hurt out in the field. Nature is what they say is crazy.
You must have some fabulous stories.
Some say fabulous, some say horrific. It depends on what kind of things you're into, I guess.
Are we planning on getting hurt?
I hope not.
Well, then why, on God's green earth, do we have a doctor living in the house, Mr. Welsh?
You all possess certain skills and have come across certain anomalies within this universe, and it was decided that you all would do well working as a team on the West Coast to deal with certain things that may or may crop up. Dr. Layton has been with us for a little while, and given your most recent expedition, we thought it might be prudent to have you discuss with a medical professional and make sure that you all are healthy and sound. And we have a lab and medical area set up for Dr. Layton to do whatever research he requires.
Mr. Welsh, forgive me, I'm just a simple farm girl, but it just sounded like you said that we're sick after our last expedition, which I'd like to remind you did result in the world getting saved. So I'm just not.
I think I can squelch this. I apologize, Miss Monroe. I don't believe he was meaning physically ill. The issues with health are far and long-reaching past physical health as well as mental health, and making sure that whatever traumas or things that in which you have dealt with are taken care of and that you feel at peace.
The only people I tell my secrets to are my family and my pastor. So you'd be good to stay away from that line of questioning with me, sir.
Oh, don't you worry. I'm not going to ask you
You're
anything.
a reporter.
Well,
Can I
I
say
can't
anything to you?
I can't speak about Miss Bonnie over here, but I can tell you that the only things that you'll be telling me are things that you want to be telling me.
Hmm.
You just need to tell me it's off the written record, as it were.
Part of what we do with Rapno is to develop an oral history of these encounters as well, and we thought Miss Baker would do a phenomenal job of recording these so that others may learn from the experiences that you all had, and we can make sure that moving forward we're better prepared to deal with issues of this kind.
Everything I say is off the record.
Right.
You have to probably tell me that every time. I'm somewhat forgetful.
Great.
Unless it's written down. So
I don't like this either, Dallas.
You said something about we had rooms somewhere.
Oh, certainly, yes. Allow me to show you all to your rooms, and then I'm going to go make sure that everything is in order of the house, and I highly encourage you all to speak amongst yourselves and get to know each other a little better. We'll reconvene for dinner. We have the most excellent chef on staff, and he leads you up the stairs and points out on the second story is where there's Dr. Layton's lab and lab / hospital clinic area, clinic, barbershop, dentistry, the works can be done there, and a very large library takes up the majority of the second floor, and on up to the third floor where there's just a series of doors going down through there, and he takes you to each one, and inside is a bedroom with everything you could ask for, a wardrobe, a bed. There's already clothes inside the wardrobe that look like they suspiciously are your size and could fit you quite well, as well as there is running plumbing actually at this house, something that you all haven't seen very often, if at all. and each room has its own tub off to the side in a separate room. This is if you have money, like this is very nice, nicer than anything you all have stayed at before. And Ms. Monroe, you in particular were not poor, but still used an outhouse.
Point of order. And I'll leave this up to Mason. Do Dallas and Maybelle have a single room or double rooms?
Everybody has the option for an individual room.
I think for the time being, Dallas actually he needs some privacy for some of the stuff he's doing.
Okay.
So I think he's gonna fucking Justice's face. Yeah, you take that however you want.
We all know what it means. Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. I will leave you to it. Like I said, please, I encourage you all to talk. Tell your story. Speak with the doctor for a little while, just as long as you're comfortable, and definitely speak with Miss Bonnie so we can record some of these trials that you all have been through. And he bows himself out. There are actually 8 different doors on this floor. 4 of them are currently occupied by the 4 of you.
I'm gonna go. Just, are the rest of them clearly bedrooms? Like, are the doors open, or?
Yeah, they're all slightly ajar, and they're pretty much mirrors of yours, except that the wardrobes are empty.
Just because, as we said, I don't really trust anything, I'm gonna poke through the extra rooms, just to make sure there's nothing, no one, no thing.
Dr. Layton, did you follow them up, since you presumably have already been shown to your room? Did you follow them up?
Yeah. I'm going to follow them up, and I'm going to put my book away, since that's where the rooms are. I assume we're all sleeping in the same floor. Mm-hmm. Put my book away, and after I see Dallas start to walk around, I walk over to him. Is everything all right?
Yeah, just getting familiar with my surroundings.
Smart. You wouldn't be a smoking man, would you?
You know, yeah, why not? It's been a while, but I could use it.
Why don't we head to the back?
Is it where are Maybelle and Bonnie at this point?
You were all shown to that floor and shown to
Okay.
your individual bedrooms. You started poking around. What would you have done, Bonnie?
I would go up to Maybelle and say, Miss Monroe, now I understand that maybe you'd like more privacy, and I'm just trying to do my job, so perhaps we could use an alias of some sort, whatever you'd like to come up with.
I don't so much mind you using my name. It doesn't mean much now that my family's gone, but...
Oh no, I'm so sorry. What happened?
There's the problem with it, Miss Baker, is if I tell you what's been going on, you're gonna think that I've lost my mind.
Well, I've heard all kinds of stories.
I assure you this one is stranger than most.
Well, I'd be very interested if you were willing. I'm sure you've been traveling or something. Maybe we can catch up later. Perhaps over a drink or two with us girls.
Oh, I don't drink much. One time I did it didn't quite work out how I planned. But yes, I love some company. I'd love that very much.
All right. Well, why don't you get settled in your room and we'll meet downstairs.
Sounds wonderful.
All right, Doc. It looks like the ladies are preoccupied getting acquainted, so if you wanted to grab that smoke, I think now's a good time.
Sounds good to me. And I'm going to just start walking to the back. I presume Dallas will follow or find his way. There's probably, I imagine, and Justice, tell me if this is wrong, there's a bench in the back, or maybe even a rocking chair to sit out in the back porch to relax. The doctor sits down, and before he opens up his jacket, and he pulls out a flask, and he opens it up and takes a little bit and offers it some to you.
Well, thank you kindly. So, Doc, I get the sense that they gave you a bit of a job.
Oh, I could care less about what they have to offer. I'm more trying to figure out who we all are, why we're here, and what we're doing. And I'll be honest, I don't think we'll get answers from Welsh. I think we'll get more answers figuring it out ourselves. And I feel like you and I are probably in the same boat. So I figure, make an alliance, figure out what's going on, and maybe do what they ask us to do.
How did you end up coming into service here, would you say, Doc?
He reaches to get the flask back and takes a big draw of it and closes it up and sets it down and moves himself. He goes, from my understanding, they need someone that can see and understand things and not freak out.
You telling me you've seen some stuff, Doc?
I've worked on some things. I think I was 12 the first time I had to help someone resuture their leg after a horse kicked them right in the knee.
Right, but you, beyond the natural, I mean, beyond the normal stuff we see, like war and famine, disease.
You're talking about it.
Maybe.
Well, I can't personally say that I've come toe to toe, but I've dealt with the aftermath.
Well, I have seen it more times than I would like. And I swore I was going to be done.
Well, then what's driving you to keep going?
Well, we lost someone recently. And, I know he's still out there somewhere. I can't give up on him.
Sense of duty.
He was my friend. In the end.
It's difficult to lose people, of course.
It was more than that. Like I've had friends and family die, get shot, but he was gone. He was there, and then it's just not the same.
It's more difficult when you don't know. When someone's dead, you know that they're never going to come back. You can slowly grow over that. But when they're just...
I saw him. I know he's still out there. And I can feel it.
That's what I'm saying is worse. You didn't see him die. You saw him go away, I presume. You saw something. You saw him being drugged into something else. You don't know.
Yeah. Something like that. I'm going to take the flask back.
And you notice on the flask itself, you can see that it has like the double-headed snake on it. And he goes, it's medical grade. It's there to assist with pain, physical and mental.
Man, what did you put in here? Did you put...
Nothing. It's just hooch.
Everywhere we went, it seems like once you've started down this path, it's just constant. I swore that after this was over, I was gonna live by the beach. I was gonna not care about anything else other than those who came with me, my friends, my family. And I just feel like God, I was so much happier just being a two-bit sheriff in a town where nothing happened.
Maybe you'll get that one day.
We're going to transition. As Maybelle and Bonnie have come back downstairs and positioned themselves comfortably in the study that is well suited for conversation. There are two large mahogany desks on either end, and in between are a large leather easy chair and two leather love seats with a coffee table in between. This is Schrodinger's house until we establish details. They don't exist. So there absolutely is a sitting area out back. There absolutely is whatever you all need until we finally establish
and a secret passage that leads straight to the bowels of hell.
To the heart of Cthulhu, and we have the silver flask. We need to stab it in the heart. So
game over, man. All fixed. Maybelle's gonna go and kind of. It's strange with her walking into this room. It's very familiar and also very cautious at the same time. She hasn't been around this kind of luxury, not even since before her mom died, since they lived back east. Like, it's strange to her. But she'll go and kind of just sit primly on the edge of one of the armchairs.
And Bonnie would walk in and with a tray with tea on it and everything, and sit it down in front of Maybelle and take a seat as well. I thought you would like, just a little bit of tea. Maybe just to soothe the soul, I hear.
I appreciate that. It's been a long time since I've taken afternoon tea.
Oh, really? Did you do that with your family?
We used to, back on the ranch, occasionally. Papa used to like us to bring it to him when he would be balancing the books in the afternoon.
Oh, did he have a business of some kind?
We had a ranch. Man, it's strange to think now how important it all seemed back then. And then, your world gets a lot bigger the older you get, and I'm sorry. How do these things usually start?
Oh. Well, I just thought we'd chat, get to know each other, not really interview, if you will.
Well, how did you get here?
Well, my father owns a printing press business, so I understand that world. always having a father in the books and things like that. But um, I tend to remember things really well if I see them, and I guess it. I guess my father just told some of these contacts that he has, and now I'm here.
Do you miss him?
Oh well, he lives in San Francisco, so I still get to see him. I'm assuming your ranch is far away.
Oh, yeah, it's well, it doesn't actually exist anymore. Um,
Oh, well, what happened to it?
uh, it was burned to the ground. Um, after my father was murdered by
Oh,
something from beyond the realm of reality. Um, and
I am
then
so sorry.
my sister and I ran away in search of whatever did that to him. And we traveled a lot. We were assaulted on a train, and then we went back in time, and then we came back and we thought everything was fine, and then we went into that mine, and we blew that up, and then we made our way to to Scottsbluff, where I had to be magically healed because of frostbite. And then we got there and we thought that everything was going to be okay, and everything seemed like it was going to get better. And then we finally got to Cheyenne, where we were supposed to be the whole time. And
Bonnie gently puts a hand on, like, across the table on her, I guess, hand, if it's reachable. Now you're safe now. You're in good hands.
I'm not worried about safety. We've survived so much. It's hard to believe that anything could actually hurt us now. But I killed a man. I sent him off to somewhere because I couldn't leave well enough alone, and now my sister's gone, and so I'm here alone, trying to figure everything out and trying to make everything okay. But I screwed up, Bonnie. I screwed up real bad, and that's why I'm here, because I messed up.
Well, it sounds like you've been through an ordeal, and I mean, I hope I can comfort you in some way if we could be friends and just get to know each other, and maybe you could tell me a little bit more. But I mean, it doesn't seem like you're completely alone. Mr. Dallas Rex seems very good company.
He's here, but he's never gonna forgive me.
Well, I'm sure in time he will, for whatever it is.
Have you had people just leave? You don't know where they went. You don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, generally it happens a lot. I mean, people travel all around and move wherever the work
I mean,
takes them.
1 minute they're there, and the next they're gone.
You mean like in front of you?
Yeah.
No, I can't say that I've ever had that happen. It certainly sounds like not anything normal. But surely there's an explanation for it. Maybe the doctor would be able to know.
Bonnie. If you stick around, and I highly recommend that you don't, you're gonna see that and probably a lot worse before it's all said and done. I'm sorry. This is wildly unfair. I forgive me. Dallas is the only company I've had for quite some time, and
Oh, it's a pleasure to listen. Trust me. I often interview some pretty brute people sometimes, and they're not always as lovely to converse with.
can I ask a personal question?
Well, sure.
What's it like to be a woman in your position?
Well, I won't lie, I do carry protection. I've never had to use it, fortunately, but sometimes it's difficult. Men don't seem to know how to keep their hands to themselves sometimes.
You just wait until my sister comes back. She's the tough one.
Oh, what's her name?
Mags. Molly. But Mags is what we all call her.
Well, that's a really fun name. Mags.
This is the longest I've ever been away from her before.
Was she gonna join us later?
I hope so. She's learning how to hone her craft. I mean, you wage battle with words, and she does it with explosives these days. But I think you two will get along.
Well, she sounds like a firecracker.
A whole handful, really.
Well, I can't wait to meet her.
Did they tell you what to expect coming here?
I mean, I know that it's a very large organization, and it's been around for quite some time, but what it actually means, preserving the natural order of things, I mean, not really.
I wish I had a way to prepare you, but unfortunately, I'm afraid that there's really nothing I can do to help on that front, other than to let you know that I'll be here when it happens.
All right, well, you let me know when it happens, and I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, you'd better have some tea, nice and calm. You're in for a treat.
Meanwhile, back at the back of the house, real quick, Dr. Early Layton, this is post-Civil War. Did you serve? Were you a medico on the battlefield there?
It was.
Just some general knowledge there. Did you all have anything else that you all would like to discuss back and forth? Any more revelations you would like to reveal, Sheriff Rex, or kind of just sit in companionable silence for a while?
Tell me again how sheep's bladder might be used to deter earthquakes, Doc.
Well, I'll be completely honest with you. There's a lot of horse shit out there that people like to spread.
Yeah, I know. I used to spread a good bit of it myself.
Oh yeah? Were you a snake oil salesman?
Maybe for like short period of time, yeah.
Well, it's really hard these times of days. Gotta make your money somehow.
Especially when people keep running you out of town.
Happens a lot to snake oil salesmen.
Yep. You got any more of this? I'm gonna hold up the flask.
In my room, I can get some more. I will make sure that we have a plenty with us. Hopefully, we
What?
won't need it for anything other than celebration.
You know what? We're supposed to be doing dinner with everybody soon. I suppose I should hold off until I learn a bit more about the two of you. No offense, I just
No. Ask away. If you've got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer to make you feel more comfortable.
I guess I just. What drives you, Doc?
Drives me to be here or drives me to be a doctor?
You know, I was thinking more the former, but I'm kind of interested in the latter as well.
I've got nothing at home. Why
I
not?
hear you. Well, because at home, at least you're safe from giant tentacle monsters and snake people and all manner of things.
Have you ever experienced? Ever experienced near-death experiences for yourself?
I've been near death, but I've not come super close. Myself, I consider myself somewhat lucky, unfortunately, though I've seen a lot of people die around me, if that's what you mean.
Same. Over and over and over and over. It gets to the point where you start to think that maybe you'll never die. You experience it around you so much, and it still hasn't managed to catch you.
Yeah.
So you slowly put yourself further and further and further into danger. Just hasn't caught you yet. Work in mines for a while. Go out on the battlefield. You watch someone get taken out right next to you. A bullet for someone right in front of you. Some reason you haven't been taken.
So what do you think then? Greater power or what?
I just haven't found that great power to take me yet. And maybe this is it.
I'll be honest, Doc, I expect my number will get called one day and I'm gonna see what's on the other side, but just to be clear, you're not looking for death, right? Because I got a lot to do.
And I'm here to make sure that you keep doing it. That's why I was hired.
I don't know you that well, Doc. I don't trust you fully yet, but I could see this being a good partnership.
And he takes the flask from you and takes a swig and hands it back. Why don't you keep that one? I got another one.
Thanks, Doc.
Anytime.
I'm gonna head out from there and head back inside.
Okay. You, Maybelle and Bonnie, are you all still conversing in the study?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's probably more casual conversation now. Maybelle has forgotten what it's like to talk to a girl about girl stuff. So yeah, she'll probably like fall back into the pattern of talking about dresses and patterns and the weather and how cute the town is and
I'll tell her
gossip
all
as
about
much
the
as you
hot
can with someone you
spots.
just met. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, you go back in and you find the ladies in the study.
How's everything going for you two?
Oh, well, wonderful.
We're
How
not
are you?
intruding, are we?
Oh, absolutely not. Um,
Would you like some tea?
I've got I've my whistle's already wet. I think I'm quite fine.
it's
Yeah, I'll pass as well for now. Thank you kindly.
As you all have gotten established in your rooms and whiled away the hours getting to know each other, the afternoon has waned on. And about 3 o'clock, um, Master Welsh comes in. Um, Hello, I hope you all have gotten established, and I had this comes as a bit of a surprise, but it seems that word of our organization has already gotten around town, and we received a semi-urgent notification but moments ago. Um, and you all have been invited to dine with the Manro family. They're semi-prominent. Well, they've recently declined a bit in their prominence in the community, but at one time they were quite prominent members of the local upper crust, as it were, and to have them invite you to dinner is quite an honor. Just getting to city, but I feel that there's more than dinner on the table.
like dessert too.
Um, yes, I'm sure they will definitely take care of you, but I believe there's been disturbing rumors about the Manro house. And I believe that they may be requesting your assistance in a matter of strange occurrences.
Welsh, can you tell me how your secret organization is getting around town?
Well, the organization as a whole isn't revealed, but certain advertisements are put out that we might offer aid in occurrences such as this.
When is this happening?
6 p.m. sharp is when dinner is served. It's generally approved to arrive a little early.
Well, I better go freshen up then. Maybelle care to join me?
Oh, oh yes. Probably should. Polite company.
So I shall accept the invitation then on your behalf.
Do we have anything else to do?
Well, really, the question is do we really have a choice?
Were you gonna serve dessert here tonight?
Of course we were. And Doctor, you always have a choice. But this is an opportunity to do some good. Potentially.
How do
or
we
learn
know
something.
How do we know they're not snake people?
Oh,
I'm
dear.
sorry, snake people.
Is there a thing such as snake people?
I think we're probably safe with high society, at least for the moment, Dallas.
Yeah, alright. I'm gonna just kind of get up. He's just gonna walk out of the room and head back to his own bedroom.
I will take that as a scent.
Go
He
ahead
goes
and
to.
respond to the invitation. Are you coming too?
Oh no, no. My duties are here and to the house.
So you're like a butler.
That covers some of my duties, yes.
I believe Master Welsh is the caretaker of this establishment.
That is correct.
Now, will we be brought in a carriage, or
Certainly,
what
yes.
time should we?
Our transportation is always the finest. We have several horses and carriages at your disposal. There's even rumors of a rail car coming soon.
A rail car?
Certainly, yes. A new innovation.
Well, that doesn't help us tonight now, does it?
But it is very exciting.
Oh, very.
I believe I saw your father's publication do a small run on it.
Oh, yes, I do remember now.
Well, we better go clean up if we expect to be presentable.
The doc looks at himself and goes, well, I'm ready whenever.
That's what you're wearing?
Yes, this is a perfectly acceptable jacket for dinner.
Are you expecting to do much surgery at dinner?
No. He's not wearing he's wearing like a brown tweed jacket. Like
Okay.
he is in real he's wearing a vest and a jacket.
Cool.
I
Just,
Jacob.
you know, making
am
sure he
wearing-
wasn't prepared for an amputation
No,
before
no.
the appetizer.
No. I mean, what do you think dinner is? I mean, you know.
Always be prepared for a pre-dinner.
It's so gamey. Then yeah, I'll go upstairs and with Miss Bonnie and try to become a presentable young lady once more.
Like I said, there is clothing that actually fits you all there in the wardrobes and the bath and mirrors and whatever else you could require. Is there anything you all would like to do prior to departing? And are you going armed, just out of curiosity? It's not completely unheard of at this time to carry your pistol with you at all times, but just for my knowledge.
Yep.
The doc doesn't carry a weapon,
Okay.
but he does definitely keep his medical bag. It's just a small duffel bag, basically, that he keeps with some basic tools.
His satchel, as it were.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often people go, "Oh, you're a doctor." I've had this clicky knee for like the last 6 months.
Better
I
cut it
got
off.
this bunion. Did you get rid of it for me?
Maybelle would probably, since this whole day's been just kind of weird, and now she's being introduced to lots of new people, she'd probably try and construct just a little, maybe a slight incendiary distraction device. Something that she could roll across the floor that could, set drapes on fire if need be, or something of that nature.
Certainly easy to come by. Something the materials. There's a workshop and a blacksmith shop out back, as well as your standard wood chopping area and putting together kind of a tinder ball that could be lit and rolled.
And obviously concealed somewhere on my person.
Roll me your science tinker just to see how good it is. First roll of the game. Of the season. Don't fuck me, Gil.
Don't get too excited.
Don't fuck me, Gil. That's a success.
Okay, regular success.
Yeah, regular.
Okay. Again, out front. Is there anything in particular? I'm sorry, Bonnie, that you wanted to do or bring before we departed?
Yes, I would always be carrying my Derringer. However you say that. And just and then just a knife like under my skirts type of thing.
Okay. There's a larger carriage out front that can comfortably carry the four of you, and a footman that comes out to drive you. It's not Mr. Welsh, but it's a younger gentleman, and you get loaded up and whisked off to the house.
Maybelle's
in
probably
question.
wildly overdressed. I'll say that too. She probably like saw the opportunity to dress up and seize a part of her old life, and like she's got elbow length gloves on right now for God knows what reason.
Is she excited about it? Or is she like, oh God, why did I like?
There's probably moments where you catch her looking really, really excited, and then it's like she notices she's doing it and she shuts it down because she's grown up now.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are all taken, or you're taken. Your carriage is taken across to an older section of San Francisco, a more established area that is well-to-do. It is similar to it's an area of San Francisco called Russian Hill, where a lot of the wealthy families that had moved to San Francisco or profited it following the gold rush had moved and built homes and houses. And you arrive at a home similar to the one that you just departed in build. And there's again a gate out front with a wall surrounding the house. And you're greeted by a manservant. I want all of you to give me spot hidden as you approach this house.
Extreme success. Or no, I'm sorry, that's a critical success. Good, look at me. That's a 1.
Extreme.
Hard success.
Yeah,
Just a success.
just a regular old success.
Just a regular old success.
It's fashioned after a Swiss chalet. So it's got the big sloping roofs and looks a little different from the architecture around you. What you notice, what everybody notices, but Jake, with a regular success, you notice, Dr. Early, you notice the hedges and the fence aren't quite up to the standard of the houses around them. It looks like things have been falling into a little bit of disrepair. It's not like the city council is going to come by and yell at them or anything, but that pristine, sharp edgeness is lost a little bit. And those that got the extreme successes notice that there's a line of rust on the gate that was allowed to build up, and it looks like there's a shinier bit that looks like it was recently scraped away, as if this gate had been shut for a while. And Sheriff Rex, with your critical extreme success, you notice that at about this time you would expect to see lights. So you extrapolate a little bit more from that gate. The only lights on in this house are the front window and the foyer. It just doesn't look like the house has been used recently. But you pull up the drive, the footman hops out, opens the door, and bows and helps you all out as you need. There's a gentleman waiting, similar to Master Welsh. But again, you all see sort of just a slightly disheveled, and we're not talking mothballs and mildew or anything like that, but it just doesn't look like this family, like the tuxedo that the butler is in is out of fashion a little bit, and you all wouldn't necessarily know what high fashion is at this point, but there's a noticeable, slightly old-fashioned look to it when compared to how Master Welsh was impeccably dressed. The gentleman bows very low and he introduces himself as, I am Master Percival, and I am the housekeeper of this establishment. Please follow me. I'll introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Manrow. It's spelled Manrow. not Monroe, Manroe. He leads you into the house, and again, you notice heavy curtains are pulled off the rooms to the left and right, and the staircase is dark. To your right, he pulls the curtains aside, and it's a dining room, and there are a few people seated around the table, and Mr. J.P. Manroe stands up and greets you. He's an older gentleman, again, well dressed, but slightly out of fashion. In his late 50s, maybe 60. It's hard to tell. He introduces himself as J.P. Manroe and his wife. And Bonnie, give me a roll for news. What would that be? Did you take anything specifically for reporting?
I have a history. That makes sense.
Let's do history, because it would be a local history thing.
Okay. Well, I failed.
Where are you from, Dr. Early? Have you been in San Francisco for a while, or did you just recently move here?
Just recently.
Okay. Mr. Monroe also motions to two more women that are there. A woman around his own age, and a woman that is obviously her daughter, who's about 20, 30 years younger. And he introduces them as his sister and his niece. And invites you all to sit down, thanks you for coming. Everything is perfectly, impeccably polite. Invites you all to sit down, and is ready to begin dinner, and tell you a little tale if nobody wants to do anything before dinner joins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go up and shake his hand and be as pleasant as possible. If you'd let me, I'd love to roll a charm roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, extreme success! I rolled a 3.
Oh,
Hot diggity.
so charming.
He is charmed right out of his socks, as it were, and is very happy. He thanks you profusely for coming. He's heard a little bit about your work, Dr. Early Layton, and he doesn't know the rest of you all. I only know the rest of you by reputation. I saw an advertisement in the local paper that said that there was a new organization that was helping to deal with sensitive matters, and so I decided to attempt to rectify this situation as quietly as I could.
And what situation is that?
Well, you see, I believe we're haunted, and I don't laugh, please. I implore you. We have faced a lot of ridicule, and it's a most concerning situation. You see, we sunk a lot of our money into this home, and we have been unable to utilize it for the last decade. And we were really hoping that you all would help us, as it were.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Oh, certainly. Do you mind if we have a seat and enjoy dinner while we do?
I would love that.
How haunted are we talking? I mean, should we be in here?
Oh, well, yes. So far, the dining room has been how would you say, my dear? And he looks at his wife, and she says, pranksters. Yes, pranksters. It's much less malicious in here. Things such as, now I would check the salt shaker before you utilize it, and the sugar as well. Oftentimes they switch it on us. Yes, pranksters, if you will.
Justice.
Yes.
Do I feel anything different? Like having entered this property at all with my recently acquired superpowers, we'll say.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me your brand new thing there? That is so. For those of you tuning in, longtime viewers, we are transitioning from standard Down Darker Trails to a Pulp Cthulhu style. And within the Pulp Cthulhu, there are certain rules for psychic powers. And Sheriff Rex, with his recent proximity to the astral plane and the beyond, has opened his mind up a little bit. So we're going to experiment with that for the first time this evening. How did you roll on your clairvoyance there?
I got a regular success. I'm just kind of feeling it out. I'm not super confident in my abilities yet, so I'm just trying to get a sense of if something is amiss, if it's actually haunted, as it were.
There is definitely some sort of outside force here. Just reading up on that power there. You sort of get it's not something that you noticed until they started talking about it, and once you started concentrating on that just a little bit, you felt sort of a tingle down your spine, and almost like somebody took an icicle and just ran it right down the back of your spine, and it made the hair on your arms sort of stand up. And as you are sort of experimenting with this and opening your eye to it, you actually see as a servant comes in with the first course and they set it down, they set out salt and pepper shakers. You're on a long table, so they set it out, 3 of them. And you see, as soon as you sort of like reach with your mind as he's talking about it, one of the salt shakers slides right across the table and smashes onto the floor, and everybody sort of jumps.
Well, good news is the place is in fact haunted.
I'm so sorry about that. This rarely happens in such an overt way. In this room, I apologize. You are in no danger, I promise.
You keep saying in this room. That has me concerned. Are other rooms different and
most
malicious?
The study has well, we started noticing things, and as somebody comes in and cleans up the salt shaker, and as you all don't notice, they take a pinch and kind of throw it over their shoulder and back out. They lay out the first course. It's a perfectly acceptable soup of some sort, seafood soup, as we are on the coast here. And he begins to tell you, when we first built the house, and the very first night that we took possession, my darling sister and her daughter came to visit that evening, and as we were in this very room, we went to eat our dinner, and the salt and sugar had been switched, and we at first just assumed that somebody had made a mistake, but then a pillow flew across the room randomly and struck my sister right in the face. When we moved to the study after dinner,
Speak plainly, sir, if you want our help.
yes, I had a pair of crossed decorative swords above the fireplace in the study, and one nearly took my head off. It came right across the room and slammed into the door behind me.
Looking around for more sharp objects.
Oh, we removed the sharp objects, trust me. We took precautions. After that, we contacted some locals and held a seance. Are you familiar with the practice?
By the way, this entire time, the doctor's literally like sitting there with a piece of like a notepad and his pencil, and just writing everything down.
I'm also doing the same.
Wonderful. note-taking is a skill and a virtue. And
Now,
needless to say,
a seance, you said?
yes, a séance. We brought in a local woman who
It's where
is
you talk
versed in
to
such
spirits,
things.
Bonnie.
Is that a local superstition?
Oh no, this is a widely regarded science, sir.
He doesn't say anything. He just looks down.
I would like to see what he is writing in his notepad.
I mean, he's not hiding it. And if you'd like to look, like if you like look over, he'll show you his notes.
What is it? What does the last line say?
It's just a dick butt. He's just drawing.
It says possible lower intelligence of the client.
Is this in a notepad?
Yes.
I'm gonna rip it out.
Well, that's quite rude.
You're gonna reach
That's
across.
quite rude. That's rude?
This is a medical journal. I'm trying to make sure that everything.
Go on, sir.
He continues to write down.
Look,
Bonnie clutches her notepad a little closer.
what do you have us here for? You trying to? I mean, it's haunted. You're right. It's haunted. Okay. What do you want me to do about it?
I would appreciate any assistance you might provide in
You
getting
want
to
us
the
to
bottom
bust the
of-
ghosts out? You want us to just bust them on out of here?
Yes, I didn't know who to call. In all honesty, and we've been at a loss since the night of. We had a few seances, and to be quite honest, it was disturbing.
Well, look, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
You know, busting makes me feel good, so I'm all for, taking care of this for you. Is there any reason to believe that perhaps these spirits are upset with you specifically, your family?
I wouldn't begin to know, to be honest. We've explored every option. We've had priests in here. The last man, poor fellow, was driven mad, and he is now at St. Cuthbert's.
Why would you share that information with us?
Well, I wish to be as forthright as possible. I think I lost the accent. I fell back into Master Welsh.
So you got is there some history here? People died, or what? Did you buy the house? Did you build it?
Oh, I built it. You see, I was a bit of an engineer in my younger days, and I moved to San Francisco with the gold rush, and I had the place built for our family in 1851, as a matter of fact.
What was here before you built? It would be the next question I want to ask.
Nothing that I know of. It's been it's an up and coming neighborhood in the 50s, and you never know what was here in particular, but we had 5 years prior to having any sort of incident.
Well, it
Mr.
sounds to me
Monroe.
like you pissed someone off then.
Mr. Monroe, do you happen to have any books on your family? It's quite common for people to keep books of their history, maybe even the home itself here.
Well, certainly we do in the study, which we have left untouched since we are reluctant to go back in there. I can tell you that the house, we built it ourselves. The land had been cleared. There was nothing untoward. There was no known burial ground or anything of that nature that would leave us to believe that we had disturbed some sort of spirits.
Wars happen all over the place, though.
This is quite true. And this has been a wild land for many years before we came and settled it.
Either way, I think I think we should have dinner here, and Mr. Dallas here will. You can feel it. I assume. I'm not quite sure how you came to the conclusion that this place was in fact haunted, but we can get into that later.
You didn't see the salt shaker move?
I mean, a simple fishing line could have done that.
I don't see any fishing line. And
Uh, we are well experienced in how do they say doubters, and we have been accused of charlatan by every man, woman, and child in this city at some point or another.
It is not that I don't believe you. It is more that I would rather believe in what is the easiest thing to see, and then slowly move down. Have you ever heard the term "horses, not zebras"?
I can't say that I have.
It's in reference to what is the most likely of opportune moments that are here versus the wildest and strangest. So Mr. Dallas says this place is haunted. I have to believe him. But I must say, if we are to do our work, and I look to Maybelle specifically, and say, I think it'd be easiest if we could do this work alone. Is it possible to have the house cleared for us?
Most assuredly, yes. That it would be our pleasure. We can leave where our residence, our current residence, can be found. I apologize that it is not nearly as nice as this one once was, but
before you all leave, well, Miss Bonnie, you deal in facts for a living. Perhaps you could use some of your investigative skills to learn a little bit more about the family. Please don't be offended, Mr. Manro, but it seems like when someone heaves a sword at your head, that's mighty personal.
Yes, and I would be very concerned if priests are losing their minds, that it may be more than just a ghost and perhaps demons.
Oh, joy.
demonic possession is something we have not ruled out. I assure you, we've brought in priests and holy water, and
Can I ask some points of clarification?
most certainly, yes, absolutely.
It has been constrained to the physical location of this house, right?
This is correct. It's
It's not followed you anywhere else.
That is correct. There have been some sightings in the gardens and in the areas around the house, but it is here.
Well, what kind of sightings?
Well, on the night of the seance, we stupidly requested a sign. We requested that they wake up one of the servants, and a young man who was helping us out around the house and was in the barn at the time suddenly came screaming across the garden and in through the door, wide-eyed and terrified. He ran through the house screaming and ran directly out the house, and a force followed him with such vehemence that it blew the front gates right off into the street.
Oh dear.
What would you say the correct role would be to determine whether or not he's lying?
Ooh.
Like, would it be psychology?
Psychology would, yes, that would be
My highest role.
I Can we see through the house to the garden from where we are?
There are windows along the front of the house, looking out on the area that the front of the house, but behind the dining room is sort of a kitchen area that they seem to be coming in and out of. So there's not any windows out to that particular area.
Great. Kind of with confidence rather than intelligence in this particular case. Maybelle has given up on actual dinner because she didn't want a sword lobbed at her. I'd like to get up and walk out to the back garden.
Okay. How'd you do on the psychology?
Success.
Okay.
Just a normal one.
As far as you can tell, this man is being 100% honest, true to his toenails. Every single person at that dining room table is scared to be here, and they are all talking, filling in bits here and there as they remember them. But they are all truthful. At least they believe themselves to be, right? You can't tell if they have been fooled, but they themselves are believe what they're saying.
And as Miss Monroe gets up and walks out, I'll look to him and go, I apologize. I think we're going to just go ahead and skip dinner tonight, and we're going to start looking around, if that's all right. If you don't mind getting any of your help out of the building as soon as you possibly can.
Yes, absolutely. We will take our dinner to go, as it were. And it turns out they only had 2 staff. They had the person in the kitchen that brought out the food, and then the gentleman that met you, Master Percival.
A question for you, though, before you depart.
Yes.
What's more important to you, keeping this house or getting rid of the ghosts?
I would very much like to get rid of the ghost, because this house is not usable.
But what I'm saying is, if it came down to it, and the only thing that you could do, scorched earth, burn the place to the ground, and be assured that they were gone, are you willing to commit to that?
This land and home represents a significant portion of my fortune. I would very much prefer not to burn it down.
Yeah, of course, it's definitely not going to be the first line we'll be following, but I'm just saying, you never know that these things, they could, after imprinting on all of you being here this long, who knows, they might start following you home. And if the only way to get rid of them is burning the place down, I'm just asking if you're willing to make that sacrifice to ensure your safety.
Perhaps that is something we discuss when it comes to that time.
You got that doctor down as a maybe.
I'll take that down on my notes.
All right, I need to focus. So, you all have a good night.
I start to like scram them out, like.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all of this. We will get in contact with you as soon as possible. If you could, yes.
And they walk away. They don't have a carriage. Maybelle, as you walk back, so you're walking back through the house alone.
Mm-hmm.
You see furniture covered in dust. Roll me a spot hidden as you walk back through the house.
That is an extreme success.
So you notice a thin layer of dust on all of the furniture, even the floors. Once you pass the foyer and the kitchen, it hasn't been tread on.
Are there any prints?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You get that same sort of feeling as it seems colder as you walk back further into the house. You notice there's a grand piano in a large atrium room that you pass through that is completely free of dust. As you continue towards the back of the house, you see wide open windows. In the back of the house is even less well maintained than the front. Vines have overgrown it. There is a barn down a path, but the trees are they haven't been pruned or cut back or anything like that.
I think I would stop short seeing the piano and go see what that's about. It's like by itself in a room, Floor is covered in dust. No tracks to or from it.
Correct. I mean, there's other furniture in there. You just notice with a extreme success that there's no dust on the piano.
Yeah,
it's just
cool.
a strange thing.
Okay, I want to go see that piano.
Okay. What would the rest of you like to do?
Once I've walked them out, I want to. I'm gonna look at Dallas and be like, does she go off on her own often?
It's never good if she does. I think we should probably go ahead and just maybe not get too far apart in a house where swords are flying around.
Do you and Bonnie want to stay here and I'll follow Miss Monroe?
How big is this house, Justice?
It's a modest sized manor. It's 2 stories, and I don't know, let's say 3,000 square feet.
Okay.
Per floor.
Hey, Maybelle, are you still? Where are you? I'm just gonna like have my voice echoing through the halls.
Can I hear it?
All that. Listen. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Like half absent-mindedly over my shoulder, like my intention is to respond. So I'll just kind of like I'm back here.
Are you getting in trouble?
But I'm focused on the piano storyteller keeper. It would be reasonable to say that Maybelle probably hasn't seen one of these since she left the East Coast either, correct?
Yeah, it wouldn't have made the trip out west.
So it's not something that she would have had the opportunity to play on since then.
Correct.
So she's not gonna stop. Like, she'll call over her shoulder that she's back there, but she's still heading for the piano with the absolute intent of playing it. 100%.
Okay. You all do hear that she responds. She might sound a little distracted.
Yeah, Doc, could you check on her? I gotta set up in here.
Yep. And I'm going to follow where I assume the voice came from.
And even without heavy tracking skills or anything like that, the layer of dust that has accumulated here is quite significant.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see where she has walked through.
So I'm gonna step into the room, and I imagine you're near the piano, if not sitting at the stool already. And how are you doing in here?
Oh, I ignore that. If I'm at the piano, I ignore that.
Do you know how to play?
Still ignoring that. If I'm at the piano, I'm playing the piano.
Oh, so you start playing. I'm not going to ask you if you start playing it. I'm just going to walk up to the piano and listen.
What are you playing?
Oh man, now you put me on the spot. Diana hasn't played piano in, 30 years.
Yankee Doodle Dandy.
No, it's probably something more classical. It's probably Bach or
Dun 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 dun.
yeah,
dun,
playing
dun,
chopsticks
or something.
Dun 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 dun.
What's the one? What's the one with the knuckles? Dun dun dun. dun.
No, it's probably some Bach.
Okay. Is she good?
I mean, she's probably a little bit rusty, but it's one of those things. She was a young lady of high society, so she learned how to play the piano.
So there's not a performance check, so we're just gonna say, yeah, it's pleasant, Doctor. And you all hear the haunting melody coming from the back, but no screams, as it were. So,
What else is in this room other than the piano?
this is sort of a sitting, entertaining room. So there's the piano, There's a larger upright cello next to a green velvet chair, as well as what?
Tell me more about this cello.
I don't know anything else about it. As well as some like settee couches around, but again, they're all covered in dust.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna continue. Clearly, she's focused on this, and I'm not going to interrupt her. I'm going to just walk around the room, admiring the music, and just taking a look around, seeing if there's any sort of danger, or, I'm gonna mechanically roll a spot hidden, but just kind of look around and admire the music while seeing if there's anything out of place or strange within the room. We are here for business, after all. Come on. 48, which is just a success.
Beyond the fact, you do notice that there's no dust on the piano as well, and it's something that couldn't be accounted for by Maybelle playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, everything seems to be in order. There's a double door that opens up onto a veranda that overlooks the garden and the barn and things like that. So this was clearly an entertaining area at one point. Rex and Bonnie, what are you two getting up to?
Now, you don't really think we'll have to burn the place down and leave them homeless, do you?
That's worked in the past. I'm just gonna kind of be like looking around the kitchen, trying to make sure that there are no sharp objects, even though they said there weren't. Glass, anything like that. I'm trying to make sure that it's relatively murder-free.
Now,
It's
there are,
childproof.
if you go into the kitchen, there are knives and things of that nature.
Is there a lock to the kitchen door, or is it just open? Like, it's
one of those like swinging doors that swings either way. Like you can push through one way and push through the other way.
Galley door.
Yeah, there we go.
It's gonna look a little crazy. He's just gonna drag like a chair over so the door can't swing out this way or anything. Even though I know it like potentially is double hinged, but I think I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna kind of look around, take a seat at the table. Well, Bonnie, I don't really know entirely how this works yet, but I gotta do a thing. And I know you're doing a history search on a family, looking around and stuff, but if you wouldn't mind staying just a little bit close, I don't know what might happen to me.
Anything I can do to help, of course.
And I think he's just gonna like sit there and like close his eyes at the table, kind of just cross his fingers and kind of steeple them kind of back and forth, just trying to focus. And I'm gonna try and clairvoyance again, but I want to know how to get rid of the ghosts and or whatever it is they want to be appeased.
Well, as everyone can see, we hit the bring the pain meter for this evening. So we are going to choose this moment for you to fail your clairvoyance roll.
Okay.
As you sort of push again against that cold chill, and you hear the haunting melody of the piano drifting through the house. You're sitting here like this as you almost physically, but you're taking your mind and you're forming it into sort of a bolt or a weapon to shoot through whatever this cloud is around you. When your hands are jerked apart from that steeple that you're doing. And Bonnie, as you're sitting there, you see his hand slap the table with a resounding crack. A slight stinging hits your palms as the candles and the gas lamps that are on in this room flicker out completely for a full 3 seconds. You're unable to move your hands. The light comes back on, and in front of the fireplace that is across from you, Bonnie and Sheriff, you see a terrible apparition. It is sort of standing there in this pool of blackness that doesn't recede when the lantern or the gas lamp comes back on. It's almost as if their features were combined into one masterpiece of ugliness and revolting hideousness. It was blacker than the blackest midnight ever frowned in starless gloom over the storm-swept ocean. And just like that, the light fades back into that pool of blackness. The apparition is gone, and that's where we will stop for the evening.
Bum, bum, bum.
And we're going to start back next week with a sanity roll for Sheriff Rex and Bonnie. Wow, guys, that was amazing. You guys are just a delight as a cast. That was
I'm so scared.
that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for bringing your the only game that I assume you all have, which is an A+ game for the opening of season 2 of Iron Dust and Blood. Thank you to the audience. Thank you everyone that donated. We hit the Bring the Pain. I apologize that tonight it actually worked out just perfectly. Because if you had succeeded there and just figured it all out, that kind of would have ruined the whole thing. So glad that came in handy. I'm sorry somebody didn't get actually thrashed, but you know what? There's always next week.
I don't know. Sanity is probably harder to heal than physical, especially with a doctor. So I think that was properly thrashed.
I don't know. If you're the doctor, you can't treat yourself, and we sure as fuck don't know what we're doing.
I mean,
you can't get hurt.
Bite down on this.
Yeah, there's a leather strap in his tool bag. Don't you worry.
For that.
Thank you guys so much. Let's do outros. So let's start with our new cast members here. BB, where can folks find you? Where are you on the internet, and what you got going on?
You can find me on Twitch or Twitter, Instagram, pretty well at BB Gaines. You'll find me there.
You got anything fun going on right now?
For years I've been trying to get a Dark Souls run for no hit, but we'll get back into that after some more.
She's down to 1 though.
I got 1 hit.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm the person that goes the furthest away from Dark Souls. I bought one of the Dark Souls games and I got to the first boss, and by the first boss I mean the first enemy, and I just got thoroughly thrashed, and then I uninstalled the game. So what is a no hit? Because
So I'm trying to beat the game without getting hit by any enemy.
fuck that.
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu sounds like the perfect game for you, because you clearly enjoy torturing yourself.
I do, yeah.
And our friendly neighborhood doctor that definitely is not going to chop anybody's limbs off. Who are you, and where can folks find you? What you got going on?
My name is Jake. You can find me on Twitter at IndigoQT, or I run a channel called Q Times. You can find us on Twitter at _Q Times. We stream way more than we possibly should. So just follow those social medias for that. Currently, that's going on, and I'm just living life, just living life.
Living your best life.
Yep. Do it right now. I'm pushing myself, and the main thing I've been tweeting about is I'm currently, and I'm doing this as a means of purposefully bullying myself into losing weight. I'm down 40 pounds.
Yay!
So I'm tweeting a lot about that. So if weight loss is kind of like a touchy subject, don't follow me, because I've been talking a lot about that. But yeah.
Glad to hear it. Dallas, where can folks find you?
Hey guys, my name is Mason Dula, like Masondula on the Twitter. Here on Twitch, you will soon be able to find me over at twitch.tv/nerdhonest, where we're going to be starting our new campaign, also Call of Cthulhu. It's Apartment 21 is the name of that campaign, and I'm very excited to get started with that. And to some extent, all of these people, as long as I can book Jake, all these people are hopefully going to be involved with that, so it'll be a good time. A little bit different, going to be set modern day and stuff, so it's going to be a whole bunch of spookies, and I'm just glad that I get to hang out with all these people. And like Jake said, make sure you follow Q Times, make sure you follow Bard and Barbarian, because you'll see kind of a lot of these people flitting around those parts, and we all love each other bunches. So yeah.
We do. And last but not least, Diana. Where can folks find you? What you got going on?
Not a lot. So, you can find me over on Twitter at DemikoDiana. You can find me here Tuesdays and Thursdays for our shows. Every Wednesday night over on Renegade Games' channel, I run a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle entitled The Nightlife, where I have a bunch of vampires that run a club in downtown Miami. So that's a good time. We just got some cool news recently about that I hope we'll be able to share soon. So that's kind of neat. I did want to run through and just as if it's okay with you, thank the folks who followed and subscribed and all that stuff through the show.
Yeah, please do.
Thanks, Dalek Reject, for following. Thank you, BB and Hurt Them, for those donations that allowed us to screw over Mason. Thank that one kid 680 who just followed. Thank you, Sir Beast 1269. Thank you, Hissen Youngd and Q Times for the host and everybody else. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We can't thank you enough, because that's what allows us to keep doing this thing. I have been your keeper for the evening storytelling. You can find me on the socials as Stashmandu. We have a store, bardandbarbarian.com. Where we have nerd stuff from around the internet, including a couple things specifically for this game. We have some beautiful powder-coated mugs with our mascot from last season, Gatlin Horse, who will definitely be making a reappearance, as well as some really cool t-shirts. And the t-shirts are on pre-order right now. Once we close those out, we're going to be they'll be shipping 3 weeks later. The proceeds from those are going to go towards paying our cast and helping compensate them for their time. I will say, unfortunately, right now for the t-shirts, we are not at the point where we actually are able to order them. So if more don't get ordered, then we're going to have to cancel the order because we haven't hit the minimum order yet. But if that is something that you're interested, you can find those on our website. Did you have something, Diana?
The artist for Gatling Horse is with us.
Oh,
Murphy
hey.
Pop Art. Thank you so much for Gatling Horse.
Such a good art. It's such a good art.
It's a good art.
It's a good art.
It's a good art.
Such a good mascot. It's beautiful. I want to slap it on everything. And it's really cool. But most importantly, following these fine folks is a super easy way to show them that you enjoy the things that they do. Find them online. Just give them a little follow. Give them a little share their posts every once in a while. It really helps all of us keep doing this fun thing that we enjoy doing. And if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. We are on Bard and Barbarian here Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got a morning show that we run, But What If? That's at 10 a.m. Eastern. And on Tuesdays, we have Dread Rising, which is a zombie survival game at 8:30 Eastern. And then Iron Dust and Blood here, Call of Cthulhu, 8:30 Eastern on Thursdays. And we do a 3-week on, 1 week off, so that everybody gets a little rest and we can keep these little mini arcs going. But
who's online?
That's all I got. Critical Role is on right now.
Not rating Critical Role ever.
I want to rate them.
Well, as you're doing that, you're talking about Murphy Pop. She made this for me, and I keep this on my desk.
Look at
Keep this on my
you.
desk. Yeah, keep it on my desk right here.
They are an amazing artist, and I really, really dig Gatlin Horse. And I have to figure out a way to make them more present in every game. Gatlin Horse.
Maybe we should just make that its own board game.
It's
the
true.
Gatlin horse. It's you have to ride the bucking horse while operating a Gatling gun.
If you're looking for people, Roll the Roll is a really good group of people. There's also Dork Tales. Both of
Dork Tales.
Dork Tales is playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
That one didn't want to work for me.
Yeah.
You know what,
rating
dudes?
rating
I'm the
on
worst.
rating on Twitch has been such a pain because it's like it has literally failed me a lot of the times recently.
It's just, one typo and you're boned. Okay, it says I have a raid in progress, but I definitely don't. So you know what? We're gonna work out that kink for next week.
Bye,
Thank you all
everybody.
so much.
So
We
good.
will see you next week.
Good
Thanks
night,
for joining
everybody.